Hello and welcome to Be Decided in their quest for the best video game movie. We're starting this week with Need for Speed. Protag, tell us about Need for Speed.
Well, in the quick layman's term sense of the word, it's just pretty much a revenge story movie, but with cars that go fast. Actually, that's really towards the end. Other than that, it's just pretty much a quote-unquote race across the country for the most part of it.
I'd be hesitant to call it a race.
Well, that's why I said loosely. I think really, how am I going to try to word this? I think really, the main chunk of the movie is just him driving across country. And that's about it, if I remember correctly, because I think, the last 20 minutes is the actual race.
That sounds about right. In this, hold on, it was a...
Oh, by the way, we're going spoilers deep, right the fuck away.
Oh, yeah. Spoiler alert. So, yeah, it's a 2-hour, 12-minute movie where he spends most of the time driving. It stars Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad. I got distracted by Keyblade. It stars Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad as a race man who builds a car, gets framed for manslaughter. Murder. Manslaughter.
Oh, yeah, no, it was manslaughter. Because, with a car, it can't be murder. It has to be manslaughter.
Well, manslaughter means you did it on accident. Murder means there was intent.
You did it on purpose.
Didn't you go to school for law?
Yeah, but it was also a thing with cars, too, is, you can't really do murder because it's hard to prove. Sometimes it's really hard to prove if they actually intentionally hit someone with their car. Unless it's, very fucking, they did it on purpose. Like, if someone T-boned someone that was sitting next to their car, yeah, that's kind of on purpose.
So what we're saying is, the easiest way to murder somebody in due short time is with a car.
Yes.
That'll wrap it up for this episode.
We're totally 100% telling you what to do. Goodbye, everyone. We're going to jail.
So yeah, Need for Speed guy Aaron Paul, he gets in a race with some other guy and his friend gets killed by other guy and the world's worst pit maneuver. Yeah, PD. Don't name your character PD. Characters named PD are just destined to be killed.
It's the most innocent fucking name ever.
I always think of Bully. Did you ever play Bully?
Oh, yeah.
A little kid named Petey had a little pink shirt. Everyone was being mean to him, and he's just like, your vice president, basically. You're like, he just knew what was going on, and then he went and beat the shit out of people with potato guns or whatever.
Yeah, something
God, that was a great game. Anyway, Petey dies in a horrible, fiery way. Aaron Paul gets framed for it, goes to jail. 6 years later, decided he's going to avenge his friend's death by getting invited to, what was the race called? The Corleone? That's not right.
Yeah, the Corleone.
The De Leon.
Corleone. Oh, yeah,
Corleone is the Godfather.
Yep, okay, yeah. So the De Leon is run by Michael Keaton's character, who...
Monarch.
That's what it was. His name is Monarch. And they never really explain how he... Well, they kind of do.
They just say he's rich. He's rich and he likes to watch people die,
They just kind of say he pretty much got all the money to run these races from his parents... Or no, from his family's inheritance, which was running railways way back when the oil industry started booming or some shit. That's pretty much it.
I want a spin-off movie where we just learn how Michael Keaton got rich.
Yeah, I mean, we could do that. There was supposed to be a second Need for Speed movie, but we also had that happen. It didn't.
So yeah, they go in a race. Spoiler alert: good guy wins, kills several people in the process accidentally, and then
accidentally, quote unquote,
goes to jail for 6 months for jumping probation. I think they're not really clear about that. Or
yeah, they don't really
street racing.
Is it 6 months? I don't remember.
Yeah, it's something ridiculously low. They have this. At the end of the movie,
because he proved his innocence or something, but that still doesn't count for all the cops that got murdered in the race and all the drivers that got murdered in the fucking race.
The end of the climax of the movie is a 20-minute race with 5 other drivers, all in hypercars, Lamborghinis, Ferraris, etc. And
Lamborghini Mercy.
He is the only one that doesn't crash.
Well, the other dude. Well, I guess the
other dude crashes. He just goes and saves him
right at the end.
Yeah, the protagonist crashes.
I won't come back for you. Comes back for him.
Yeah. But, so, all of these drivers, doing, insane flips or smash into trees at a couple, 100 miles an hour. A couple cops just, do flips, 4 or 5 times. People have died. And they're like...
There's no way they're alive.
Yeah. They're like, you get 6 months for illegal street racing. It's like, what?
Well, then again, I guess I can't really say that they've died, because I've seen quite a few car accidents where, like, people shouldn't have walked away and Yeah, they're totally fine. Cars are fucking fantastic nowadays.
Also, at one point, the cops just they turned their car into a guided missile.
Oh yeah, the cops fucking. I like how we just skipped straight to the end, by the way. But anyways, yeah,
Best
the
part.
this cop is sitting by the side of the road, and he's waiting for people to pop up, and like the helicopter's giving the cop a countdown. Oh yeah, there's a police helicopter by the way that's following the race.
Of course.
So anyways, the police helicopter's like counting down to like when this cop needs to like floor his fucking car, and then they're gonna battering ram into a fucking racer because apparently this is legal. So he fucking like throws a rock on his accelerator and fucking flies the car into like one of the random racers, fucking like killing the racer.
Yeah, everybody's fine, I'm sure. So yeah, that's the rundown of the movie. Several people probably die. Does anybody die on screen besides Petey?
I don't think so.
What?
I don't think anyone really dies on screen.
So I guess the mid movie climax is the canyon,
Hawaiian,
quote unquote
flying
race.
Hawaiian.
Yeah. So they all right. Rewind like an hour because this movie is way too fucking long.
Yeah, this movie really only has like good set pieces, like as in set pieces that are like maybe 10 minutes long, and that's all you're really gonna like out of this movie.
Okay, I guess we start from the beginning. So Aaron Paul, he gets out of jail after being framed for murdering his friend or manslaughtering his friend, however you want to put it. He calls this British person who bought a really fancy Mustang that he built. It was supposedly Cheryl Kelby. It was somebody's Carol Shelby.
Carol Shelby.
There we go. It's supposedly
Holy
his
fuck.
Mustang. They built it.
It was the Mustang he was working on before he died.
Yeah. So they build up, this British guy buys it. They go to jail for manslaughter. They come back. They calls the British guy and he's like, I want to race your car in the De Leon and win money somehow. How is it explained that they're... So we'll get to that in a second.
It's pretty much, I'm going to use your car to win the De Leon and I'm going to give you the money pretty much, or something like that.
Yeah, but the money came from all the other cars. Like, it's basically a big Pinks race, right?
Yeah, you win the race of the cars, I think.
Except all the other cars got totaled.
Yeah, that's the one thing I was like, you ain't getting anyone back their money after this race.
So he just cost that British guy like $3 million.
Well, no, he got the Koenigsegg in the end, I guess.
The Koenigsegg.
Or maybe that's I don't know. I think that might not be actually impounded for
evidence because it's a murder weapon.
A murder weapon.
It's like blood on the side on it.
It didn't have blood. It just had like the scrape or whatever.
But anyway,
when it like pit maneuvered Petey's vehicle.
They get the Mustang with British guys, also British assistant. Drive cross country. At some point, I'm assuming in Nevada because they're in like a Grand Canyon type area. It's revealed that our protagonist...
I think it did say Nevada, actually, so yeah.
Yeah. Our antagonist, that one, put like a bounty out on him, and they're being chased by these guys in off-road vehicles. And then their buddy just shows up in an army helicopter and lifts them by the roof out.
Not even like a new army helicopter, it's like one of them fucking Vietnam-era motherfuckers.
One of those things that is definitely not in service and hasn't been in forever.
It looks like a fucking flying banana. I can't remember exactly what that one is called, but it looks like a flying banana.
If you've ever seen Full Metal Jacket, there's a scene...
Oh yeah, it is that one!
Where they're shooting people with an M60, like just farmers and shit. That's the kind of helicopter they're using. It's not like a Huey, it's just a big cargo helicopter.
How do you shoot the women and children? I lead less!
Jesus Christ.
That movie was horrible. I mean, great, but horrible.
Yeah. Classic, but horrors of war. So yeah, they get lifted out by their helicopter. Somehow it just rip the roof off and they fly away.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so the way they hook it up is not like, oh, a suction cup to the roof of the car or whatever. No, they fucking wrap a chain from inside the car and over it. So it's pretty much only holding on to like the top part of the car. But that doesn't explain how the weight of the car doesn't rip the fucking chain through the roof or anything.
To be fair, that is slightly more believable than a suction cup.
I mean, if you could do the magnet, maybe.
Big magnet?
Yeah.
And then they fly away.
They got like a dumps or whatever, yeah.
And then guy in military helicopter he gets court-martialed or something.
Yeah, because apparently he's actually in the military or something. I don't know. It's not really explained well.
Which, how does he...
Kid Cudi's character isn't explained very well.
Kid Cudi's character shows up with an aircraft like once every 10 minutes. Just a different aircraft. And provides some sort of assistance and or looks at women's asses.
Cessna, news helicopter, Cessna again, and then cargo helicopter that existed in Vietnam.
Cargo helicopter that shouldn't exist anymore.
No, that shouldn't be used anymore.
So, what would you say your favorite thing about this movie was, Protag?
Well, I can tell you my favorite scene.
Go for it.
Because I can't remember the actor's name off the top of my head right now.
Is it Mr. Robot guy?
Yeah, Mr. Robot guy. His scene when he's done working at the office.
Go ahead and walk us through that real quick.
So anyways, they've gotten the Mustang, but they need the whole crew back. So the way to get the one dude back, who's now working in like an office and probably just hates his life, now has to, you have to convince him to rejoin them. So how they do that is they show up with the Mustang outside the office. I'm trying to think exactly how they worded it. These, like, the one other mechanic dude's, like, telling him, like, on a phone call, like, hey, for some reason it leans, just watch this. So then they start flying down the road, and, like, they got a police chase going on with, like, the Michigan police cars, which suck dick. I don't understand why your cop cars like that!
First of all, our cop cars are great. Michigan State Police have the greatest looking police cars ever.
They have the worst. So anyways, they got his attention, and he's, like, I'll be right down, hangs up the phone, and just slowly starts walking, or not slowly, just starts walking towards the elevator, just slowly stripping off all of his clothes. And at one point, he, like, sexually harasses a woman by just, like, fucking forcibly kissing her.
Grabs her while his dick's out, and it's like,
Yeah, and then by the time he makes it in the elevator, he's totally nude. And he's talking to an older woman who works in accounting. How does the quote go again, Joe?
he's like, I'm quitting my job or something. And she's like, oh, I work in accounting. He's like, oh, do you feel like you're dying inside? And she's like, yeah.
And then she looks down, and he looks down, and then and I quote, it's cold in here.
The actor is Rami Malek, by the way.
Yeah, he's actually a really good actor. He's doing a Prince movie.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Bohemian Rhapsody. No, he's not doing Prince. He's doing...
not Prince, yeah, fucking, Queen.
Yeah, Queen.
I get those two mixed up, because I don't know why they did royalty names, but whatever. But yeah, that's how that scene ends. He runs outside quick, and he meets the mechanic dude. He's like, dude, what the fuck? He's like, you're not taking any of my underwear.
It's like, why are you naked? Because I don't ever want to come back. Which, fair enough. If you get naked, you probably won't be invited back to a job. I think overall, the biggest saving grace of this movie is that it was fairly amusing. Like, stuff like that, and just like random weird one-liners and just weird shit happening was funny enough to keep it interesting.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't say it was a comedy movie, but I don't...
They put jokes in there, but some of them hit well, and then some of them just did not hit.
It didn't try to take itself super seriously, though.
Yeah,
for the most
really
part.
Didn't, and it didn't. Certain
it wasn't like, we're so intense, we need to go race. It's like, I'm gonna get naked and run out my office building. Alright, fine.
Yeah. Yeah, like, the movie stopped taking itself seriously. I feel like the movie stopped really taking itself seriously once they had that scene in there. Because they remembered, oh yeah, we're based off of a video game that never really took itself seriously.
Yeah, after that, everything kind of goes out the fucking window. You get cars being lifted by helicopters.
Before we all forget, this is based off the Need for Speed series. And that series only has 3 good games. 2 good games. No, 3. I'd say Most Wanted's on there.
Carbon is a good game.
Both Need for Speed Undergrounds and Most Wanted.
Carbon.
I never played Carbon, so I can't say that.
So you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I do. It's called Play Most Wanted, bitch.
So, briefly, tell us how this game ties into the story of the other... Or this movie ties into the story and or world of Need for Speed. Yeah. It's just a generic racing movie with the Need for Speed title on it. Like,
yeah, EA made it, so I mean they had to like slap a title on it. I think they wanted to go with the Need for Speed movie, like, but then they figured out like, oh fuck, our games never really had any story.
Yeah, they're racing games. Like, there's nothing going on.
But then some of them kind of did. I think the recent ones are the only ones that did. Need for Speed: The Run had a story. The normal Need for Speed kind of had a story. And then, well, they renamed it Need for Speed. It's like the 2016 version.
Yeah.
And then you had the game that came out after the movie, which I guess doesn't work in this sense, but it has a storyline to it. Need for Speed Payback. Other than that, this really doesn't tie in at all. I guess Underground and Most Wanted technically had stories, but they're like so far-fetched you were just more worried about doing the objectives in the game anyway.
I think Carbon had a story where you led a race gang which is a thing apparently. But basically, it's just an
Oh no, they brought those back in Payback then, because there's race gangs in that too.
Yeah, so basically, it's just an excuse for you to go from race to race.
I forgot Need for Speed Undercover. I bet you that had a story.
That sounds like something that have a story.
Yeah, I don't remember that game though, so I don't think anyone does because no one ever talks about it.
You know, I was also kind of surprised how well the effects in this movie were done. Nothing ever.
I'm sorry.
The
what?
effects, nothing ever.
Did you not remember the car at the
end?
I
do, but nothing. There was no super cheesy or super terrible CGI where there definitely probably could have been.
No, because I think most of the stunts were practical.
I think a lot of it was practical, and like I said, what was CGI didn't stick out really bad. Like there's
no,
the mirrors on the car are holographic. Yeah.
I couldn't see that for you either.
They're on the dash, so
I didn't even look it up. Do those even exist?
Probably not. No, I'm willing to gamble without any googling. No, those don't exist. Yeah. That's not a real thing. But
yeah, not real. Next,
those didn't look great, but they're also just in the background. Like there was at no point where the car was driving by, and you're like, "Wow, did a 12-year-old do that in Google SketchUp?"
Oh yeah, we also should probably say this too. The only time you could see them is when actually they did like the camera behind like the driver type ordeal, where it's like a kind of a first-person driving.
Yeah, a lot of the action scenes were shot like that.
You could only tell in those scenes that like the mirrors didn't make any sense, but you weren't usually paying attention. Then you're mostly paying attention to what the protagonist is doing while he's driving.
You're only paying attention if you're me.
Actually, I saw a lot of it too. Don't worry. But that's one of the things I really liked about this movie. Is the camera placement sometimes. It's like I want to see a movie kind of like Hardcore Henry, but with car type ordeal, like what they did in this movie a bit. Like where they do the race, where they do like their chase scenes or something like that from the person's view inside a car, because I think that'd just be a little bit more interesting.
Or also sickening.
Yeah, maybe.
But
I didn't think Hardcore Henry made me sick. So
there were a couple scenes that made me a little bit motion sick in Hardcore Henry, but for the most part it was fine. I can imagine watching something like that in VR would be like terrible though.
Oh god. Can you even watch movies in VR
yes.
yet?
It's kind of dumb, but it just puts a screen in front of you in VR. It's whatever.
Oh boy, I'm in a real movie theater. The thing that's dying.
What did you think about the love story?
You mean the forced love story?
Yes, that's my favorite part. Is British assistant lady goes across the country with protagonist man to protect their investment.
Aaron Paul.
And they fall in love.
Yeah, they kind of just start falling in love for no apparent reason.
Like within 24 or 48 hours.
When they start leaving Michigan.
Yeah, like they get in the car and they're like, we're going to bone later.
Yeah, boy.
But they're on the road for 48 hours. No, they can't be any longer than that, right? Because they go through 2 nights, basically.
I think the movie kind of skipped a chunk of it, but I can't remember.
Well, no, because they're talking about how... But it can't be more than 2 days, because they talk about, like,
I don't remember the exact times they said, but yeah, it's not a whole lot of time.
So within maybe 50 hours tops, they are just smitten with each other.
Yeah, it's pretty much like
she's sitting in his lap, and yeah. Do they say I love you at some point in the movie?
No. He says he wants to share a room with her, though.
Yeah. World's worst cockblock.
Not like that. Oh yeah, then the world's worst cockblock comes up. Yeah, you're right.
He's all like sad and stuff, and she's like, "Oh, why don't we go get a hotel room before the race tomorrow?
You need some sleep and some food." And he's like, "Okay, how about we
and
get a room
together?" And she's like all
together?
smiling, wink, wink. And then they get fucking T-boned by a garbage truck,
which is on purpose, by the way. It's set up by an antagonist dude's body,
hitman man,
dude, yeah,
whatever.
Who's like at the final race anyways and failed his fucking job. Who would have thunk?
Yeah. So yeah, the love story made no goddamn sense. Also physics. I think we touched on it earlier, but this game
Mustang flying through the air.
Like, yeah, let's just lift it up by the roof. It'll be fine. It won't collapse.
Yeah.
Where at one point they get like incredible air off of like the grassy bit of a off ramp for the hall bit. Yeah. It's like jump off that and lose the cops.
And they lose the cops. So that just goes to show how bad Detroit cops are with their shitty cars.
Basically, by taking an off-ramp, they lose the cops.
I still hate your cop cars. I really do.
They're amazing. They're beautiful.
They're horrible. Why don't you guys upgrade your shit so that your lights are normal?
For anybody who hasn't seen a Michigan State police car, they're whatever model car. You know, we have some
I think they're
Chargers and
now,
whatever.
yeah.
Not all of them. Some of them are the
Still Crown Vics?
Not Crown Vics. Whatever the newer Interceptor is. It might be a Ford
That's
Focus.
the Charger.
No.
Oh, you're talking about
Patrol
the SUV,
cars.
the SUV thing.
Not the SUV, just the standard sedan patrol car.
So the hatchback looking thing.
No.
Oh,
It's a
that's the
sedan.
Charger, then.
The Charger's not a sedan,
Yeah,
and the
it is.
Charger is an Interceptor. The Charger is not
What?
used as a patrol car.
I
This
don't
is
know
taking
where,
a
I don't know
major
where
detour.
I don't know where you live, but okay.
Hold on.
Yeah, you might want to look
Stand
that one up quick. I don't.
All right,
I don't
so we've
believe
got
you.
Chargers. We do have some Crown Vics, it looks like. Oh no, apparently the standard is still the Crown Vic. Or the
I
Capital.
highly doubt that. What?
The No, that's... Never mind. Never mind. Ignore me. Ignore me entirely.
That sounds like an
That
old
said
website.
Michigan State police car in front of the Capitol, but that is just a Chevy Impala.
It's probably not a Chevy Impala. It's probably a Caprice.
No, it's definitely an Impala. It's got the Impala logo on the side of it. Just sitting in
You'd
front
be
of the Michigan
I think
Capitol
that
building.
was like a logo they just randomly put on cars for a while, but I could be wrong.
That's definitely just an Impala. You can tell it's the Impala logo by the way it's an Impala that's running.
I didn't even
Anyway.
know they had an Impala version, but whatever.
Anyway, Michigan State police cars. They're blue. They're just navy blue.
Which
They
I'm
say-
okay with that part. It's the lights is what I have a problem with.
They've got the, your standard police kit, so the bull bar in the front, the spotlight. They've got the emblem crest of the Michigan State Police, I guess, on the side. On the front is like a little piece of, I assume it's plexiglass, but it's see-through. It says Michigan State Police. And then they've got the single bubble light that sits on top of the car, and it's great. I love our police cars. They're beautiful looking.
Your fucking lights make me angry.
You'll never prove me otherwise.
But the
Also,
thing,
they're-
but the thing that
they're
I
not
do
blinding.
like about that, the thing that I really do like about that though, is that I know when it's a fucking police car because that stupid fucking light. Not while I'm sitting there second guessing, is that a rack or is that a light bar? Oh, it's a light bar. Oh, I'm doing 80. Oh, I'm getting pulled over.
Oh, don't worry. Our traffic cops have blocked out Chargers that don't have light bars on them. I know
the
that. 'Cause
unmarked units or whatever.
Yeah, I've been pulled over by those before.
Good job.
I wasn't
Joe.
driving.
Oh,
I wasn't driving. But this Charger got on the ramp behind my friend. We were doing 85. Well, we were in Indiana, so the speed limit on the interstate, there's like 55, 60, I think. We're doing 85. And I see this Charger, completely black, get on the interstate behind us. I'm like, man, that looks like a cop, and the lights turned on. I'm like, ha, you're fucked. So yeah, closing thoughts. Would you recommend this movie?
fuck no.
No? See, I
Um,
think I would.
So I actually would, cause mainly to do with the fact of it's interesting. It's very
entertaining.
interesting. It is entertaining. Almost
It's
as
not-
and just as much as entertaining as the Transformers movies are, but to an extent of don't pay for the Transformers movies, watch them and laugh your ass off at how bad they are.
Yeah, it's $2.99 on Google. You can go rent it from YouTube or Amazon for $2.99, and it is a fun movie to just sit down and be like, "This is dumb, but there's explosions." Yeah, there are explosions. I had to double check.
Yeah,
There's
the ending
explosions.
explosion.
There's car chases. There's some sort of drama. I'm down.
Police
So, yeah.
car, police that die.
I give it a PlayStation 3 out of Xbox 360.
What is that supposed to mean?
I don't know. But you figure it out.
Um,
Protect, what is your video game themed rating?
I'll give it a
Actually, no, I
GameCube-
wanna-
no, a GameCube out of a Sega Dreamcast.
I'm gonna revert my
Or a Sega
My rating.
Dreamcast out of a GameCube, figure it out, I don't fucking know.
I give it one of those N64 controllers that you had to really... I hated those things with the middle fucking joystick.
Oh,
Out of
that fucking thing.
Original Xbox, super wide, ultra comfortable controller. Boom.
I
there you
don't
go.
think those big ones are really that comfortable though.
Oh god, I love those things.
I hated those. I
Best
like
controller.
the ones they finally turned into be though.
Anyway, that's our podcast. Join us next week for Far Cry.
Oh, no.
I guarantee you it'll be worse.
Fuck, that is the next one.
Thank you for listening.